Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate InvestHER Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andresa.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andresa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate InvestHER Show, minisode edition. What are we talking about today, Andresa?
We're going to talk about how to get the most out of real estate conferences while taking care of yourself.
Ooh, I'm going to take my pen and paper out because I need to do that myself.
Yeah, we have a lot, right? A lot of conferences that we attend, and we have learned a bunch throughout the years that we want to share what has worked for me specifically, and I'll share with all of you. All right, Liz. So real estate conferences, right? Hate it, love it. It's kind of like a weird relationship.
Well, speak personally. I really love them. You know me. I love them. It's where I do my best work.
Listen, you gotta drag me to them, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. There are parts that I like about it, and there are parts that I just don't care much about it. I care about connecting with people that I love, like, trust, and respect. But you know, the one thing that I learned, and I'm going to give you guys 5 things that I've learned, is what, who, where, how, and why. So it's very simple. Okay. One thing that I would say is that for us introvert people, raise your hand, give a shout out where if you're listening, give a little honk if you're driving. For us introverts, at the end of conferences, we're really exhausted because we overpacked. We don't want to miss out. We don't want to feel that we are not using our time since we did everything possible with our family in order to be able to be there. We want to make sure we are using every single second. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, we need a vacation for ourselves in order to recoup. So let me be very specific. What am I talking about and what I highly recommend you guys to do? Starts with what. So writing down your top 5 goals for the conference prior of you going there, or worst case scenario when you are in your flight, have a really full understanding of like, what are your goals beyond like attending the sessions and getting the knowledge, right? What are your overall goals of that? Like your top 5, and you focus on those things. Is it connecting with X, Y, and Z? Or is it talking to 5 sponsors? Is it taking time for yourself at the freaking pool? Whatever that is. If it is going on a bus tour to know that specific city, whatever that is for you, write that down before you go. Because when we are there, it gets a little messy. And then at the end, we're like, it was just a blur and I don't remember exactly. You know, and you get a lot of knowledge and tips and that stays inside the folder or where you wrote them for another year. So what do you want to get out of the conference? And then the next one, it's who. Who do you already know that you want to deepen your relationship with? Who do you want to have lunch, dinners, or grab a coffee with? Specific networking and like going deeper. I'm like all about like narrow deeper instead of like a lot of people and very superficial. I like narrow and deeper. So if you have a couple of people that you already know, like trust and respect, that you like to deepen in your relationship with them, schedule the launch, the time to connect with them is on your calendar and it's on that person's calendar too. Where, you know, which sessions do you want to attend? But most important, right? I want you to select the sessions prior of going. And I want you to really, really think, why are you there? Why are you selecting that session? Is it aligned with your goals? Or you are just like shooting from the hip and everything looks cool? Like how that session is going to benefit you. And when you attend that session, I want you to come out with 3 written action, not 10, not 15, not 200, 3 simple actions that you can take within a week or 2 in order for you to move the needle forward, not to achieve your goal, but for you to move you closer to it. It's very important that when you come out of those sessions, you have actions. The worst thing that you can do after attending a session is just to get inspired by it. It does not last. It does not benefit you. It does not benefit your family. It does not contribute. Getting inspired is not enough to be successful in real estate. So when you attend a conference and you attend a session, get out of the session with at least 3 actions that you can take within a very short period of time. That will create the momentum that you need in order to take your business to the next level and scale and achieve your goals. Keep that in mind.
It's a great one.
The 4th one is how you're going to attend this conference on your own terms. And I don't think that a lot of people think about this. I'm thinking about like, what is self-care to you? Do you need to attend all sessions? Do you want to attend all sessions? Right? Are you taking care of are you sleeping well? Are you eating? Are you having solitude? I know that, we attended Investor Con in October. It was an awesome conference, but we were there 2 days earlier. So on the 4th day, I took time to be at the where the grass are, like the in front of the beach, with the tea. Imagine me by myself, no shoes, sitting down on a freaking chair, drinking tea with honey.
Then I interrupted you.
I was like, I hear a voice that it's similar.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally interrupting.
I recognize this voice. That was Liz. But I got the time to be there, soaking up the sun with myself. And that was necessary for me. So how does that look like to you? And no shame on doing what works for you. The last thing here is why. Like the mindful networking. And I know like people like Liz and Matt, I don't know how they had voices at the end of conferences, because mine was like cracking already, because they love talking to people and that gives them energy. That's what they do best. They're experts in it. And for all the people that don't like people, no, just kidding, all the introverts out there, meeting new people and having that interaction can be a little daunting and draining, right? So instead of say, hi, what's your name? Where are you from? Like, what do you do? Of course, they're investors, right? Or aiming to be investors. They're not going to be saying, I'm an artist, or rarely will have those sparkly, great conversations. So instead of asking like, what do you do? How many doors do you own? Ask them. So share with me, what are you working on your business? That's a more interesting question to me. Then we can have a conversation and I know what you're looking for and I can share what I'm working on my business. Potentially we can support one another. Potentially we know who can support one another. We can give and get. Is the give and get. What am I giving here? What am I getting here? The worst thing that can happen, and it happens a lot, is that when you're talking to somebody, and they talk, and they don't shush, and they talk about themselves, about how good they are, about everything they have accomplished. That's annoying. Like I want to gag it, right? A conversation is like you talk a bit, great, and you're vulnerable. You share what's working, what's not working. And I'll do the same. It's like passing ball, right? It's just not a monologue. But I have that a lot. Like I'm out. You know, Liz, me. Mentally, I'm out. The person for more than a minute, I'm out.
And not to interrupt, but I think you actually make more of an impact when you listen to someone than when you talk.
Mm-hmm.
People will think about you differently. They'll remember you because you were the one that listened. You're the one that asked questions. It's actually more, if you really want to build relationships, it's actually better to listen than to be talking because people want to be heard. It's a human condition. So
just a quick tip.
Just a quick tip.
From a master networking person. So keep in mind what, who, where, how, and why. And as you go to the next conference. And by the way, Investor Con's coming up May 18, 19. We're kicking things off on May 17th.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to add the link here for you. It's going to be on Scottsdale, Arizona, at the Omni. The entire resort is going to be reserved for us. So there's a lot of mindful networking that we're preparing for you. Please check out the link and reserve your spot. That's all I have for today.
Love it. I love it. And I think these tips are helpful for any meetup you go to, any event you go to. These are wonderful, not just a longer conference, but be intentional, right? And I think that's the bottom line is be really clear and intentional and open to possibility. But if you don't go in clear, no one's going to give that to you. So I love it.
All right.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.